Ludovic-Mohamed Zahed has given his blessing for this dance performance. He supports the men and women, mostly Muslim, who want to come out as gay and live their lives openly. Zahed is gay himself, and he is an imam.
I
realized that a show like this does a lot more to combat prejudice against gay people than the lengthy process of writing a book or organizing a conference.
Zahed lives in Marseille, in southern France, a city with a high percentage of Muslims. Here he wants to set an example for an Islam that tolerates homosexuality. Ludovic-Mohamed Zahed is a Muslim and deeply religious. Usually he prays alone, but today he has invited a woman to join, something that is also unusual in Islam. Together they pray for openness and that their Muslim brothers and sisters will no longer be persecuted for their sexual orientation.
It just can't go on like this. There's too much vilification, too much pressure, too much violence. And sometimes there are even physical attacks against gay people in our communities and families.
Mehdi is part of the dance collective. He knows all too well what it means to be excluded. His family does not accept his being gay. That's why he left the Parisian suburb where he grew up. Today, he no longer hides. He goes openly to the beach with other gay men. He says that he owes this freedom to Imam Ludovic-Mohamed Zahed.
I had been here for 2 or 3 years, and I hardly knew anyone. That's when I met Ludovic, because he invited people to the Eid festival. I wanted to meet people. At Ludovic's place, members of the dance troupe suggested I come with them to a rehearsal. Then they all said it'd be cool if you joined us.
The group is meeting to discuss the dance performance. Zahed is there right from the start. He's discreet and is a positive presence. Connecting people and supporting them to stand up for their rights is what Zahed does best. Many of his protégés come from North Africa, just like he does. Zahed trained as an imam in Algeria. In his homeland, he did not dare talk about being gay. Only here in Marseille did he come out. Today, he even blesses Muslim gay marriages and is open about it.
Are we ready? So, thank you for being here today and asking me to be here. I'm very, very happy and honored to be part of this ceremony.
Same-sex marriages are taboo in Islam, but Zahed doesn't care. He wants to break new ground.
Congratulations.
Many people disapprove of hugs like these. The day after the ceremony, Zahed has to listen to nasty hate speech in a neighboring mosque. The imam there preaches against gay people and incites believers.
People are really very angry with me without even knowing me. It's surprising when people hate you and want you dead without even knowing you. Even today, you can't bless a Muslim gay marriage without being threatened with expulsion. Only what institution has the authority to exclude us?
There is no central authority in Islam, but most religious dignitaries condemn homosexuality. This also affects the attitude of many French Muslims. According to one survey, more than 2/3 of them believe that homosexuality is reprehensible. We're Muslims. We don't have such things. We behave with decency. For us, to be homosexual and do such things are a disgrace. It's a very grave sin. That's why Muslims don't do that. Zahed has faced critical words and threats from his own community. And yet the Imam has never considered turning away from Islam. On the contrary, he has already made the pilgrimage to Holy Mecca 5 times in order to become close to Allah there. His family eventually grew to accept him. His mother even accompanied him on the last trip.
I was the one filming. It was a very small camera, cheap, but it served its purpose. I haven't seen the film for a long time.
He posted the video on the internet for all to see.
It was very important for me to be there physically, to show that we're part of the community, that we have the same practices, that we're not less human or less spiritual than the others, just because we are supposedly different.
Zahed sees his place in the middle of Islam, not at its fringes. He wants his small religious school in Marseille to flourish into a spiritual center. That's why he not only offers housing to migrants, but he also trains imams. Today he has invited a few guests for a discussion. The topic is faith and homosexuality. The dialogue takes place via Facebook so that as many people as possible can participate. One of the guests is Salima El-Musalima, an avant-garde artist and an imam.
There is a part, Surah, that you know better than me, that says we have created men, we have created women, and we have created something in between. And this in-between is not defined or explained. So it might be hermaphrodites, it might be gays, it might be people that fall in love with the same gender.
The Catholic clergyman Jean-Michel Dunant also takes part in the conversation. He can attest to the fact that it's not only Muslims who are persecuted by fellow believers because of their sexual orientation. People have told him that he too should be cured of his supposed disease.
People tried to influence me more and more. I was told, Jean-Michel, you have everything to become a monk or a priest. Homosexuality is a small problem, but Jesus will heal you. Don't worry. Then it slowly increased. Prayers of healing, prayers of liberation, and finally they outright proposed performing an exorcism because the diagnosis was clear. I was possessed by the devil because I was gay.
Zahed wants an end to the demonization of gay people in all religions, and his movement inside Islam could play a pioneering role in this. It is this reform process that has attracted Amsterdam-based Imam Salima El-Musalima.
Well, what I like about Ludovic-Zahed, there are many gay imams in the world, there are many secular imams in the world, but what Ludovic is doing is he is creating an institution. He's institutionalizing a new, modern, inclusive Islam. And this is new. There's nobody offering those tools. His way of teaching is very contemporary. He's not like, I'm the teacher and you should listen to me. But he's more like, what can we learn from each other?
Mehdi finds these kinds of exchanges helpful too. He has high hopes for the Imam. Mehdi's relationship with his family is still extremely difficult.
Recently, I asked Ludovic for support because I can't solve this problem with my family alone. And I think he could be a good mediator. He's from Algeria, just like me. My mother will trust him more. If he was an Arab from somewhere else, it wouldn't be the same. But Zahed, he is Algerian, and he is Muslim.
The day of the dance performance has arrived. Mehdi is on his way, and he's a little nervous. But Imam Zahed is already there, making sure everything runs smoothly. Many of the performers are migrants who had to flee their home countries because of their sexual orientation. Some received death threats there. Zahed's work behind the scenes is now bearing fruit. He cleared all the administrative hurdles to reserve this hall so that the performance can take place, with Mehdi in the leading role.
It's time to sound the alarm for tolerance. Yes, I'm pleased. It makes me happy how much good it does the participants. It's interesting for the audience too, because some struggle to understand these identities. But this is simply reality, and it's shown here artistically, which is a wonderful thing.
Zahed, the discreet organizer, keeps going, even though the risks for him increase with every social media post he makes.
Yes, it can get a little dicey sometimes. Yes, I'm a little bit scared. But that's not going to stop us.